Salute to all the real ones out there. It's your boy Mike coming at you again with another video. If you guys seen the other content that I've uploaded and you like the direction that my channel was going in, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video to anybody you think it may be useful to. All right. Today I got a little change of scenery. Out of respect for one of my roommates. I told y'all like I'm in Kuwait working as a contractor, and normally I do the videos right in the living room. But I got a roommate that has to wake up early, so I wanted to give him some respect and come to my room to do the video. Today's topic is going to be about the NoFap movement. So my thoughts on NoFap. So if you guys haven't ever heard about NoFap, it's basically stressing for men to retain their seed, i.e. hold your sperm, all right? I know it sounds funny, like why the hell would you want to hold your sperm? But if you think about it, I mean, sperm is the life force, Combined together with the egg, a man's sperm can create life. We all came from, let's say, strong sperm. So think if your father was always giving out his sperm and just, ejaculating at the rate that men are these days with, high streaming porn and the access to Instagram and the female body, so to speak, we probably wouldn't even be here, you know what I mean? So there's a reason why there's, let's say, a correlation between the drop in testosterone and the increase in internet use and available technology, right? Now, remember back in the day, at least for me, I'm 35, so I'm an 80s baby, born in 85 or whatever. And I remember, let's say, when I was curious about sexuality, it's not like I didn't have a dad around that would sit me down and explain sex. I had sex education in my high school or middle school at that, and stories from other dudes who already had sexual experiences, magazines, whatever I could get my hands on. But every once in a while, it was taboo, but I would come across pornography. And of course, as a young man who has hormones going all over the place and is curious about, let's say, females, pornography kind of was a tutorial for me. And I could see why any dude would, let's say, get hooked. But in today's world, I mean, it's so available. I mean, back in the day, you had to at least sneak and hide or, try to find a store that would sell to you, or, you would get a magazine that maybe your friend's dad had hidden somewhere. But nowadays, I mean, just at the tap of internet, just going on a mobile device, you can find high streaming porn, and it's all free. Now, of course, there's a reason for that, but that's neither here nor there. So I got some notes with me. I'm trying to stay a little bit more scripted with my videos so I don't just fly off the handle. So let's go ahead and get into the topic, all right? So the NoFap movement is basically about informing men of the extensive benefits of sperm retention. It is empowering men with knowledge of holding their life force, which not only corrects erectile dysfunction, which plagues our generation these days, increases testosterone. I told you guys that every generation has a proven drop in testosterone compared to the previous generation, clears skin and cures social anxiety, but also builds up one's discipline and willpower. So overall, I personally agree with the fact that every man at one point or another should implement this practice. In my experience, each time I have done sperm retention, there have been very noticeable effects. The longest I've ever gone is 3.5 months. All right, so you guys know that I was in the U.S. Army. I served as a medic. I was airborne and all that other good stuff. But when I first came into the Army, to be honest, I had a very, very hardcore perception of what I was getting myself into. I remember the movies. I remember, let's say, the Hollywood scenes where it would be like Saving Private Ryan, where they were showing the beaches of Normandy, just people getting slaughtered at machine gun fire, and paratroopers trying to get out of the water to actually form a defense against machine guns. I remember seeing people's head get ripped off and blood spraying everywhere, and it just seemed like it was really, really hardcore. Now, mentally, I tried to prepare myself by thinking about how can I be one of the guys who is not the weak link, right? So I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, and once I actually got into reception. Yeah, reception, for you guys that don't know, in the military, is basically right before your training starts and you show up and other people are showing up. This is like the organizational phase where They're gonna kind of get you your uniforms, break you off into groups based on whatever you're there for, and you're basically waiting for the next training date to open up. But in that meantime, they're giving you the structure and showing you the basic things that you're gonna encounter when you get to the actual training. So right then and there, I realized, okay, so there aren't any really attractive females that I'm seeing around, and it's not like I'm really gonna have the freedom for the next 3.5 months to engage in anything sexual. And saying that I'm surrounded by nothing but dudes from all different places around the United States, the last thing I want to do is be jerking off, First of all, to what? It's not like I have a magazine or internet or anything like that where I can actually mentally stimulate myself. Second of all, it's not like I have any female contact. And third, I thought for this period, I want to show that I have discipline, not only with sex, but also the discipline to pass basic training. So, throughout the duration of me, let's say, retaining from any sexual activity and holding my sperm, there were some big differences that I peeped. One is that I had a huge rise in energy, all right? Opposed to kind of dragging out of bed or waking up, feeling like, like trying to get up the motivation to succeed in the day. I was waking up feeling like very refreshed and ready to attack the day, carpe diem, and it makes total sense. It requires a lot of work and vital nutrients for your body to produce semen. So when I saved it inside of my body and didn't release it for something retarded, my energy levels rose exponentially. Two, increased focus and awareness. With more life force, I'm blessed with a laser-like focus, prolonged attention span, and I feel more present in the moment. This factor aided every goal that I aimed to accomplish, and that's whether it was financial, physical, mental, career-wise, in my love life, or even with creative endeavors. All right, so this stuff pours into every single thing. If you think about people like Mozart or Leonardo da Vinci or Nikola Tesla or any of the great inventors, Newton, most of these people were virgins and or asexual. They used all of their sexual life force to pour into creative endeavors where they became pioneers in some type of either thought or creation. And they overall just affected the status quo by coming up with a different way to view reality or creating something that would benefit all of humankind. And I would not be so dumb to think that none of that came from the discipline of semen retention. Another thing is confidence and willpower. This point speaks for itself, and these two nouns go hand in hand. Both tend to ascend in unison when one of my most powerful urges, which is for men, sexual desire, is regulated and under control. The self-discipline and feeling of self-validation is priceless, leading to positive effects that carry over into other aspects. So if I bring it back over to the Army, they immediately pulled me out of the group. My name is Stewart. My last name is Stewart, all right? So I'm in a group where it's alphabetical order how we're arranged within the squad. I was in their third squad coming close to the end. I remember there was a guy named Templeton next to me. But on maybe the fourth day of basic training, they pulled me out of the group. So I'm usually in the back, but you pulled me out to be, let's say, the leader. And where did that come from? I'm not going to say it all came from sperm retention, but I'm saying the energy that I was giving off was probably much different than that of those people around me. Not only was I 21 and a lot of the dudes were 18 or they were older than me, but I really was not jerking off or using any of my energy except for to focus on how to be the best soldier. And I would really like to say that sperm retention was a good 80% of that, all right? Powerful contact. Sperm retention cultivates my inner alpha, which translates into better interactions with men and women. Don't think it's just for women, all right? Men are going to notice that you have some type of energy about you. It's an aura that seems to, precede you. Almost like Super Saiyan when he had those rays of electric power around him. I would like to, make that comparison. It's like a parallel to when you are retaining your seed. you have more discipline, you have more presence. Your mind isn't thinking about lust and giving off this dark energy. You're really present right there in the moment, and you're thinking about everything right in front of you. All right. With other men, I noticed an increase in the respect that they showed me and their willingness to follow my lead and or work to gain my acceptance. With women, there was a profound boost in their initial attraction to me, as if they noticed something sacred and were highly intrigued to discover more. All right. You guys have seen the other videos, talking about the NoFap movement, where dudes are, let's say, going 90 days without releasing, and they're talking about the profound benefits. And one of them is going to be the interactions with not only men, but also with women. Now, if we're talking about when you actually have sex or when you come across a female, harder erections are on command. One thought, touch from or to a woman, or even the smell of a woman, had my juices flowing, and the sex was easily 10 times more intense. It wasn't just that I was, let's say, more firm. It was also that I had more control over my nut, and it felt more wholesome. It wasn't just, getting in and trying to, because your mind isn't on the stuff you see in pornography or in movies and shit like that. Your mind is really in the moment. It's really on what's happening in front of you. So I would like to say that the sex is way more healthy. It's way more wholesome. You're in a unique and passionate situation where your body is really in tune with your mind, versus your mind thinking, I want to make her feel good and I want to do this and do that, but your dick is like half asleep and really not up to the task because it's so used to being overworked, if you guys get what I mean. Another thing that I noticed was I had a higher respect for sex. It was like I felt more pure. So since my mind wasn't always running left and right thinking about sex and viewing every single woman as an object, I had a higher regard for sex, and it seemed like I had more discipline to wait for the right one, or to wait for when it would be most enjoyable, right? It's almost like delayed gratification. You see, like, let's say there was this experiment. I know I'm going off topic real quick, but there was this experiment where, I forget where it was held, but there was like a group of kindergarten kids. I want to say there was 10 of them, right? And they took all the kids and they put them in separate rooms. And what they did is they had a marshmallow sitting right in front of the kid. Now, you guys remember when you were young. If you saw a marshmallow right there, we all know we would have wanted to eat it. But here was the trick. The person holding the experiment would basically explain to the kid, hey, listen, I'm going to leave for 5 minutes, all right? The marshmallow will stay there as long as you want it to. If you eat the marshmallow, then you just eat it. But if you don't eat the marshmallow and you wait the 5 minutes, you'll get 2 marshmallows. And you want to know something interesting is that like half the kids were able to wait. The other half directly ate the marshmallow. But think about if you were that kid who waited. It was just as tempting to you as it was for the other kids who ate the marshmallow right away. You know it's going to taste delicious. You're a kid and your mind keeps wandering, right? But when you wait, you're going to get double. You see? So it's delayed gratification. And another thing they noted was the kids who did not eat the marshmallow right away and wound up getting 2 in the end of the experiment, they did something to help themselves avoid the temptation becoming too strong. So like they would turn their chair around and not look at the marshmallow. Or one of the kids took a cup and put it over top of the marshmallow. Or the other kid closed his eyes and started singing a song. You see? So he did something to distract his mind to keep from being overpowered from the temptation. So that's kind of synonymous with NoFap, you know what I mean? If you're every single day with your phone looking at social media, getting triggered by, let's say, the girl who's showing her booty all over her camera, it's going to be harder for you to engage in NoFap. You know what I mean? But if you use that sexual energy to redirect it, it's called sexual transmutation, and you go hit the gym, or you read a book, or you take a cold shower, or you go for a run, that's improving you, and it's going to make the sex better when you actually have it. So yeah, I had a higher respect for sex, and holding on to my life force made me sure to only give it up to the highest quality woman that I wanted. Plus, after retention of a couple weeks, any immature or random occurrences of sexual fantasies were immediately quelled rather than being entertained, and it killed distractions. So overall, I think NoFap is something that is really solid of a movement, and it's really necessary in this day and age. I mean, we live in a time where, I mean, when a song like WAP is getting promoted, you got to think of what type of women are going to come up in this new generation. You know, I'm not knocking hip hop. Hip hop has always been wild. We already had Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, you know, Nicki Minaj. This is just a new form, but I'm saying it's getting so crazy that sexuality is almost tainted everywhere you look. So to all my guys out there, I challenge you to, you know, kind of hold off and use that energy for self-improvement. So with that being said, thanks for watching the video, and I'll be back at y'all very soon.